All right. Shalom, Akim, and Ahwa. Right. Yasharala. I know this look backwards. We got Sarge over here, and I'm over here, but Sarge, you gonna read for me? You just gonna do the intro? I know. I gave you the topic, and you was like, "Hold on, I might want to read." What you think?
I'll read, Killer.
Read?
You know what I'm saying? I might tag the homie in.
Right.
Hey. Tagging the little homie. You know what
I got the special privilege of the day.
You know?
I got the special privilege.
Hey, man, I'm not over nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lesser individual. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bring us in there.
You know?
All
right, first and foremost, we want to give call halal Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. That's all praises to the Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach in the Hebrew. All right, it's another couch captivity as created. No, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Sinuses is tripping right quick.
I know, right? some stuff blooming out there. Got my sinuses tripping, so
blooming onion.
Salakia, my voice is a little raspy today, but we about to put in this work. And the topic, as you can see, is full circle, right? From Hellenized to Americanized. What I encourage brothers to do is understand who you are, understand your history, right? Because if you don't understand your history, you're likely to repeat some of the same mistakes as we did back in the day, right? We're going to repeat the same mistakes our ancestors repeated. And at the same time, if you understand what happened in the past, right? What they say, Sarge, remember the times are old, that was good, right? We need to see what our ancestors did right and where we went wrong and repeat the good and avoid the bad, right? So the two periods of time I'm talking about is the Hellenized period, the Greek captivity, which was essentially 4th century all the way up to 1st, 2nd century BC. Then the Romans followed shortly after that, right? And I'm comparing the Hellenized period to the Americanized period because the whole concept of the Greek culture or the Greek, when they would take over different territories, is they want to assimilate everybody. They want everybody to be under one banner, one nationality, according to where you live and who controls that country, which was the Greeks.
Just like America today.
And
are y'all listening to this, man? He's dropping gems, jewels, diamonds,
right?
Wood, uranium.
So look, right? We got America, right? Who, just like Greek, their whole premise is to go out and expand, right? America started out as 13 colonies on the east of the Mississippi River, you know what I'm saying? Primarily in the southern United States. And it went up north. It got Florida. It went out west. You know what I'm saying? What they call that, manifest destiny.
Yeah.
They kept expanding north, east, south, and west. And then after the Americas was solidified, they start going country to country, right?
It tells you in Obadiah they will build the desolate places.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Obadiah or Malachi?
Oh, Malachi. They said they will build the desolate place. Malachi 1. Right? So you got to see the parallels. You got to see the parallels because if you understand prophecy, if you understand the Bible, you understand that these are the same people. You see what I'm saying? So what I want to do today is include a little secular history to show you how it's parallel, and the Bible is actually an accurate source of history. You see what I'm saying? Not just prophecy, not just scripture, but it's an accurate source of history because we got secular historians with accounts that match exactly with what the Bible is saying. Right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull up this PDF I got and read a couple passages from it. The name of the PDF is Hellenistic Civilization.
Palestine.
Or it's Hellenistic Civilization and the Jews, and this part 1 is Palestine.
Okay.
All right, so let me share this real quick. Let me share this.
So cite the book again. Cite the source.
It's Hellenistic Civilization and the Jews by Victor Sharikova.
Okay.
You got the hard copy?
You want me to You bought this?
No, it's Pataki.
All praises.
Chiki?
Well, to read.
Right. So let me pull this up because Kashak has Sarge has the hard copy. Kashak just handed it to him. I'm gonna pull it up on my screen so we can read along. All right, so let's share this. Present.
If my nose keep tickling, man, you're gonna be reading.
Hey, look.
Crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So here we go. I got that on the screen, right? And Victor Sharakova, name sounds Russian to me, right? But the publication date for this book is, I believe, 1959. 1959. The Jewish Publication Society of America, the Magnus Press, and the Hebrew University, right?
JPS.
Right? So
the ones who print out the Tanakh.
Right. The JPS version of the Bible. So source-wise, right? This is coming from, albeit a convert, right? Sharakova is more likely Ukrainian Russian type Jew, right? Which we know, listening from Deacon's teachings, how they're related, you know what I'm saying, to the Colonists and how all these other families spread to Germany and Russia, right? And are current day Jews, Jewish converts. So we know through prophecy and history that, yeah, around the Ptolemaic dynasties and the Herodian dynasties, there was a lot of Edomites that converted to Judaism. And to this day, right, they have some of the history and the records, but they not us. You see what I'm saying? But we can look at the history and the records that they wrote and see what the Edomites have been doing. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing I want to do, sorry, let's just hit the intro, right? The introduction should be around page 8. Let's see the table of contents here. You got the acknowledgments.
You want to go to
go
straight
to
up introduction?
Introduction. It should be Roman or actually page 1. Yeah, page 1. Yeah. Let's hit the introduction.
How much you want me to read?
Let's get that first paragraph.
All right. This is Hellenistic civilizations and the Jews. The introduction, page 1. In spring of 334 BCE, Alexander of Macedon crossed the narrow sea that divides Europe from Asia and went to war with the king of Persia. In a few years, he had successfully dealt the Persian army its death blow and had put an end to the rule of the Achaemenid. Achaemenid royal house of Persia. On the ruins of the mighty kingdom which he had destroyed, Alexander established his own realm. Those 11 years, 334 to 323 BCE, you got to understand how it goes backwards in time, but it's actually going forward because the numbers go down until you get to
it's like negative,
the year 1.
Negative numbers.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, BCE is what they call before Christ existed or whatever. Or
before common era, before Christ. Yeah.
Stuff like that. Began a new chapter in the history of the ancient world. The so-called Hellenistic period, chronologically set between Alexander the Great and the coming of the Romans to the countries of the East.
Right. So that's important. The Hellenistic period led right up to the Roman period, right? Mm-hmm. Because the Greek and the Roman cultures were pretty much undistinguishable.
That's why it was called the Greco-Roman Empire.
The Greco-Roman Empire. They the same people, they just fought over different territories, right? And they bled into each other. And in fact, Brother Paul identified as a Roman. And we're going to talk about the diaspora because Paul was actually born in what's modern day Turkey. You see what I'm saying? But he was a Roman citizen. But when Paul went out to do his ministry, we know that he ministered to the Grecians, which we know those Grecians were Jews who had lost their way, right? And we know that
were forced to give up their heritage.
Right. And then we're going to get into that in the Maccabees. And so we just read here, Alexander the Greek, right? between 334 BCE and 323 BCE, had a short 11, 12-year reign, right?
Mhm.
Now let's get some biblical sources, right? Because we know the Bible tells us that Alexander had a short reign and that his 4 generals took over after. So let's get Daniel 8, Sarge, probably start around 20. Yeah, 8 and 20. Let me bring that up. Hold on, let me get this other tab open real quick. We're gonna hit Daniel 8 and 20. All right. Daniel 8 and 20. Whenever you're ready, y'all.
All right. This is with Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 20.
Uh-huh.
The ram which thou sawest, having 2 horns, are the kings of Media and Persia.
That's important, right? Because we just read in that intro how Alexander went up against the king of Persia, right? Go ahead.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
Uh-huh.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Right, go ahead. 22.
Which is Alexander.
Right.
I don't know if you were trying to break any of that down, but
yeah, of
whatever.
course. So
I just figured I'd answer.
The Grecian is Alexander, right? The
All
first, right? Because his father was Philip of Macedon, and he took over. All right, go ahead.
Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
And see, that's important because we know those he had a short reign, but his 4 generals, his 4 primary generals, reigned after him, right? And we look at the history, we know that it's Ptolemy, right? Seleucus, Cassander, and Antigonus, and then they mentioned Lysimachus.
I was about to say Lysimachus.
Lysimachus as well. But out of all of those, Antigonus probably had the largest.
Antiochus?
No, it was Antigonus was he ruled the largest area according to historical records.
Antigonus Epiphany?
Right.
Gotcha.
And Lysimachus was one of the ones that ended up, you know what I'm saying, making, you know what I'm saying, allies with the rest of the generals. But that's how the kingdom ruled, right? Now, you see in the Bible, it matches up historically what was written. Let's go to the Maccabees, all right? Or actually, I'm gonna read something else from that book. Let's go to page 287. 287, just to give you an idea of how the diaspora was developed, right? Because we know that when the Grecians came in, they wrecked shop. And if we're not gonna sit here and read the whole book, but I encourage y'all, that intro goes into Alexander ruling and then starts talking about all the different dynasties after that, like the Ptolemaic dynasty, right? The Seleucid dynasty, and even what's the name? Antigonus, right? They talk about all these times and it goes into detail. But let's get page 287. This is after some time, right? After some generations, the Jews were all over the known world, right? Go ahead.
Where am I reading?
Salaki, page 287.
The
first report.
All right.
Let me pull that up. Switch over here.
Yeah, folks, it's gonna be a long class. He got to do everything.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it reading intensive, right? Reading intensive.
He almost out.
Yeah, I thought he was out.
I thought he was out too.
Thought he was out. He look like he holding on, boy. He over there holding on.
Yeah,
long day of slavery up. Yeah. I know that's the usual suspect, right?
Y'all ain't hot in them sweaters, man.
Yeah, but it is. All right, 287. the first report of the Jews. All right.
All right, so the
Third
second
paragraph. All right. Second.
Yeah, the first one is a continued. So.
Gotcha.
All right, this is page 287, political history. Second paragraph. The first report of the Jews in Asia Minor belongs to the middle of the 4th century BCE. Clericus, the pupil of Aristotle, relates that his master, when he was in Asia Minor, which is 347, 345, met a Jew who had come to the seashore from the mountainous regions and was a Greek, not only in speech, but also in spirit.
Right. That's important. You see what I'm saying? Not only did he speak Greek, but he held the Greek customs near. You see what I'm saying? Now we can go to the Maccabees and see what happened there. And we talking, these are historically etched in stone, historically recognized names here. Aristotle, right? You know, some of the famous Greek philosophers right? Stuff. Aristotle, Plato, yeah. Right? This is this time period. You see what I'm saying? Aristotle's pupil is all the way in Asia Minor in 345 BCE, and there's Jews there. Now, how do they know they Jews if they act Greek and speak Greek? You see what I'm saying?
They were whiter than the other one.
Okay, we're going to get into that one. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Cristo Blanco. Let's go to Maccabees 1 real quick. Maccabees 1. Let's start from the top, and then I'm going to skip just to get an intro to line things up with Alexander.
Mm-hmm. First Maccabees chapter 1.
First Maccabees 1. Let me catch up here. First Maccabees 1, and we're going to go from the top.
Mm-hmm. Let me know when you're ready.
Let me know when y'all ready. I'm good. First Maccabees 1.
Ready.
All right, First Maccabees from the top.
All right, this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
Right. We went to Daniel 8. We verified it here, and it's the same thing written in the book, right? Keep going a little bit.
He made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
Right. He was a conqueror, right? Took down many nations and put it under the umbrella of the Greeks. Go ahead.
And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
Right, go ahead.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Right, this is important. When we draw these parallels to how ancient Greece and ancient Rome ran things and see the similarities to America. I'm talking about military strategy. I'm talking about outposts with base all over every country on the planet. You see what I'm saying? North, south, east, and west. They had Navy power. They had strong armies. They had a structure of government that's similar to what is in place in America today. I'm telling you, you look at the architecture in Washington, D.C., and then you look at the ancient Greco-Roman ruins, it's indistinguishable, right? These cultures are integral to each other. They come, you know what I'm saying? They weave in and out of each other. These are the same people, you see? And whether we're reading the scripture or whether we're reading something historical, the players line up. You see what I'm saying? Let's go down to 15. Sorry.
Got you. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Verse 15. and made themselves uncircumcised,
Mm-hmm.
and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen that were sold to do mischief.
Right here. We were carried away by unto those dumb idols, right? Wanting to be like the heathen, even though the Most High told us, follow not after the way of the heathen, right? Go ahead, read a little more.
God. Verse 16. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have thy dominion of 2 realms.
Now look, the Greeks are moving in. We looked into the intro, right? The first area was Palestine. And they start moving in. They circling around Jerusalem. Now they're coming in from the south and they want to take off Egypt. See what I'm saying? Which at the time, Egypt's power had been diminished by the Persians, but the Greeks took over the Persians, and then they came in and they cleared out the Egyptians as well and took over all those strongholds. That's why you have places like Alexandria in Egypt. Alexander took over their capital. See what I'm saying? Named it after himself.
I gotta please.
So 1 second, right? So switch. Hey, we got SARS got allergies, so we got the fill-in reader that ain't gonna sneeze all over the camera. Let SARS take care of them allergies real quick. That's discriminating on your sinuses, right? So you got that on there, right? You can, right? Yeah. You don't have to hold that. I could read the book part. You just focus on the scripture part. That'll make it easy. You see what I'm saying? Go to First Maccabees 1. Okay. Right, and we were just at 15, and it's starting to talk about how Alexander, right, is taking over the territory, and then we got Jews that's wanting to be down with the heathens and behave like the heathens. We see this takeover, right? And then it starts talking about Antiochus. We know what went down with Antiochus. He ruled with an iron fist, and if you wanted to keep the Jewish customs and circumcise your kid and keep the Sabbath and keep the holy days and keep the commandments, you could be put to death because they was trying to force brothers to go off. But go ahead.
Verse 16, right?
Yeah. Go back to 16. Yeah.
Okay. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, starting verse 16. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms.
Right. Go ahead.
Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots, and elephants, and horsemen, and a great navy.
Right. Modern day equivalent. That's how the U.S. do it.
Right.
They got battleships. They got jets. They got tanks. They got infantrymen. You see what I'm saying? They got the whole shebang. They got the cavalry, the infantry, the rangers, the airborne, you name it. They got it, and they're going to come at you from every north, south, east, and west, every direction. This is where they pattern their strategies from, right? Go ahead.
Verse 18. And made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. And Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof.
Right. To the victor go the spoils, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year.
101. We just read an excerpt, right? And we were talking about a student of one of the Greek philosophers, right? Aristotle. And this is back in 345, right?
Right. Jews
were as far as Asia Minor and all places known. Now we already down to what, 143 BC?
143rd year.
143 BC, and now you see they circling Jerusalem. See what I'm saying? They done moved, they done took over the Rhineland, they done moved all the way from Europe, Asia Minor, You know what I'm saying? And now they took it over Egypt. Now they circling Jerusalem. Go ahead.
And went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof.
Right? We got to understand where this come from. The Maccabees, Festival of Lights, right? AKA Hanukkah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This was taken from us. This was spoiled. Our sanctuary was polluted by the Greeks, and the Maccabees were one of the brothers that vowed to fight back against that.
Right.
But the so-called 2/3 went along with the program. Same thing in modern day America. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the table of the showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil.
The veil. Go ahead.
And the crown. And the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off.
Hey, these all are priestly, highly coveted treasures.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The innermost sanctum of the temple was polluted by this heathen. Right? Read.
23. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found.
Right? So they looted. Let's go down to like 38, I believe.
38.
Yeah, start at 37, right? So we into the part where they sack in Jerusalem, and the first thing they do, what's the first thing the Greeks do? They go after the temple, because that was the center of our society.
All right.
Everything in Israel revolves around doing the will of the Lord. And as wicked as we were, we extra needed the priests to atone for what we was going through.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? Because wickedness prevailed. You see what I'm saying? Because wicked men ruled. And even our own people that was in leadership was buddy with the enemy, buddy with the Greeks, like Jace, was it Jonathan, right? With Antiochus. You want to be buddy with the Greeks and tell everybody, yeah, man, let's eat pork and swine in the altar and join the gymnasium. People don't know what the gymnasium was about back in the day, right? Right. So go ahead.
First Maccabees 1:37. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them.
Right. This is key. Why you think brothers isn't all every country under the earth?
Right.
Because these Greeks came in here raising havoc and was saying, if y'all don't want to do as the Greeks do, then it's death to you. So brothers fled. You see what I'm saying? To get a little space to do the Most High's will and try to come back and see how the Maccabees came back to see how we could take the motherland back. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Whereupon the city was made in habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her.
Right. This is the beginning of the diaspora, the disbursement of our people. Right. Go ahead.
Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach. And this is why the Greeks did it. They observed us round about. They watched our camp, and they say, you know what, these Israelites, man, every Shabbat, man, they shut it down. They shut it down. Said, you know what, we should go get after them on the Shabbat. Right. And so they crafty, just like the devil's supposed to be, right? Crafty. So let's go down a little bit. All right, just keep reading because it's right there, 40, 41, 42. Okay. Go ahead. Her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. When the wicked rule, the people mourn. Right. See what I'm saying? Read. Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Right. This is this amalgamized, homogenized
concept of a nation.
Right.
See what I'm saying? America,
Melting pot.
the melting pot. We know that ain't true.
Right.
We know that the blacks and the Latinos is sitting here in one spot.
Right.
You got the Lidos, you got this whole part of North Long Beach, all black and Latino with its lower middle income, right? All the way down to poverty. And then you go a few blocks down the road to the Bixby, right? What's it called? Bixby Knolls?
Bixby Knolls.
It's like a half a mile.
Bixby Knolls, right up the road, right here at the Lidos. We got to hear gunfire and cars evading and helicopters and cops damn near every time we come here. It's always something cracking. See what I'm saying? It's always something cracking going up and down this side of Atlantic. You hit not even 6 blocks up the road, 6 blocks to the Bixby Knolls, and it's lavish luxury. It's definitely segregated. Ain't nothing melting over here. You feel me? And it's been like that. It's been redline.
Right.
Shout out to my brothers over there in Baltimore. Same thing with that city. Talk about redlining. That's one of the first major cities in the country that was literally redline. A line drawn and said, Negroes stay there.
Right.
And don't go across that street right there, or you're gonna get roped up.
Train tracks.
Right? It's used some train tracks, right? Some freeway that just divide the city over. Baltimore to this day is one of the only non-incorporated major cities. And it was a remnant, right? It was a remnant of a town built for freed slaves. Because what happened, it was called Freetown back in the day. All the slaves that were released from the Arlington House, which was General Lee's mansion, which most of them slaves he got from George Washington's daughter that she inherited from her father. You see what I'm saying? Good old George Washington was a slave owner too. So the hell with that, he might as well. Right? So when the Emancipation Proclamation was written, Lincoln, they expect us to love old Abe, right? Abe didn't give a damn about us. Abe needed soldiers because the South was getting more powerful and more rich and was going to take over the entire deal. So he needed more soldiers. So all the Emancipation Proclamation was, hey, y'all niggas can come up here and help us fight the war, and y'all could go off of the plantation and into the ghetto. Right. That's all that was. Like Cap put it, emancipation is nothing but a transfer of power from one person owning you to another. We went from the plantation to the projects, plain and simple. And all the people, they set up Freetown so the men can fight at war, and that town was set for the elderly and the children and the women, to maintain themselves while war was fought. Well, fast forward to the end of the Civil War, brothers came up from the South, helped defeat the Confederacy, and as soon as the Civil War was done, what did they do with Freetown? They knocks it down, kicks all the black people out to Baltimore across the river, right? And built the Pentagon there. Not many brothers knew that where the Pentagon sits right now used to be one of the first black communities, post-slavery. We from the Civil War all the way through Reconstruction, 1890s, this and that, all the way up until the 1930s, going into the 40s, when America was preparing for World War II, we had built up another successful town. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
It was a couple of them.
Right? And they scooped it and say, you know what? We need our military brain center here. We about to go to World War. Y'all niggas go over there. And don't leave out of there.
I was gonna say earlier when you mentioned DC, Benjamin Banneker, a Judite,
right?
He built DC.
Oh, look, he was the main engineer, right? And you want to talk about physically building? The slaves physically built every structure there, but Benjamin Banneker was the main engineer that architected the streets. And you know that DC, the streets go like a wagon wheel. You got the Central Mall, and everything goes out from it. Right, you might have J Street North, J Street South, East, and West, right? So it was strategically built like that so that it wasn't easy to conquer. But that was the brilliance of an Israelite. That was the brilliance of an Israelite. And the Israelites built all those structures. Like I mentioned earlier, the Arlington House. General Lee's mansion that to this day, every American soldier, you ever heard of the cemetery in Arlington? The National Cemetery? That's where they put the National Cemetery, next to the mansion of the Confederate general. You see how crazy the Edomites are? Like someone who tried to overtake you, that's a national monument? You got to be kidding me, right? But the slaves built the Arlington House. They built all the structures in DC. You see what I'm saying? That's no different than today, right? You give Issachar a goddamn bucket of mud and some bricks, and he'll build you a palace. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like, oh, they just cheap labor. Them brothers is excellent at what they do, gifted at what they do. See what I'm saying? They didn't take slaves just because they were some belligerent niggas that they could tell what to do. They picked us purposefully because they knew we had skills. You see what I'm saying? They knew we had particular skills. Just like how the Greeks, they knew what they was doing. They surrounded the whole territory before they ramsacked the you know what I'm saying, the sanctuary. See what I'm saying? So look, just a little sidebar there, but let's go back. Let's keep reading that scripture.
Where we at?
Oh, Sarge back.
Sarge back.
Hey, it's WWF. Hey, you gotta tag out. It's WWE, right? We was on First Maccabees 1 and 41. We just read 41. And I'm gonna read a little bit more after that, prior to around 50.
First Maccabees 1.
1 and
41.
41. Yeah, we just read 41. We can start back there.
All right. We starting at 41?
Yeah.
This book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed, according to the commandments of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath.
Right? This is key right here. Many Israelites happily consented to Antiochus' religion. Go ahead.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Right? Which is a direct sin. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it really is. If you go backwards and we talk about Daniel, you know what I'm saying? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were told the same thing. You know, you can't make supplication unto your God for a certain amount of days, and supplication is to ask for stuff, right? And to pray to your power. You know, they said if you do that, you're going against the decree. If you go against the decree, we're going to throw you inside the hot or the burning pit or the lion's den.
Right.
You know, and you have to think about this. During the time of Daniel, they told him, you have to keep the laws of the land or we're going to kill you. During the time of the Maccabees, you have to keep the laws of the land or we'll kill you. It's the same thing today when brothers and sisters say, y'all got to get off the corner because y'all going to get us killed.
Right.
They want to conform to the world because they're afraid of death. They're afraid of what's to come if you serve the Most High. Serving the Most High, it comes with breaking the white man's laws. Always. Because the white man has things in place. Esau got things in place to that's going to force you to break their law, break the Most High's laws. You know what I'm saying? If you worked your whole life to become a judge, you can't then be biased if a homosexual comes inside your courthouse.
Right.
Your first instinct is to say, hold on, this is a civil matter? He's supposed to be dead.
That part.
But you can't even say that. You can't even make them type of things, man.
That part.
But, you know, yeah, I just wanted y'all to understand. We keep the laws of the land. But if they contradict or they go against what the Most High tells us to do, then funk the laws of the land.
That part.
To hell with whatever Esau talking about. That's the reality of it. That's why we're outcast. That's why we're looked at a certain type of way. But the proof is in the pudding. You understand? You know, we stand for something so that our people would hopefully learn to not fall for anything. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
All right.
Bars.
Bar
45.
45. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days,
Right.
and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people,
Right.
set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Look. Churches on every corner, right next to the liquor store, down the street from the XXX theater. I mean, all kind of crazy.
Didn't Deacon just post a video about them doing a pork eating contest inside of a church?
That's crazy. Crazy.
But see, that just goes to show you how indoctrinated we are, to where we can't. We confess to be Christians, right? I get it when brothers say you're using the book that they use to destroy us. I get that. Here's the problem: you didn't read it, neither did they read it.
Right.
You're going off of how you feel based off of what we've gone through, and they're going off of what you say because you're in power, Esau, right? And Esau empowers those that'll do his bidding.
Right. That part.
You understand? Remember, the devil took Christ up to the top of the mountain and said, if you would bow to me, I'll give you all of this. So when people talk about gifts, I want you to remind yourself, the devil got gifts for you too.
Oh, yeah.
You have to understand, am I doing what's right in order to receive this gift? Or am I willing to compromise my morals to receive a gift? Remember, a gift destroyed the heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
What they call that, a transactional relationship.
Yeah.
When the only reason why you deal with something or someone is to get something from them.
Now watch. That's a lot of these relationships we have. It's a lot of these relationships. There's no genuine love. There's no genuine even love when it comes to the scriptures. There's no genuine none of that. It's all transactional. You do for me, I do for you. I could be arguing with my girl. It don't make no difference. I'll still bring her food.
Right.
You understand?
That part.
It's not transaction. It's not what you can do for me and then I'm going to do something for you. Right? We have to get out of the mentality of, you know, I'm only going to treat you right if you treat me right. Remember, it says, render not evil for evil. You understand? So, part. You know, but Salaki, I done veered all the way off.
Good veer. You swerve.
You know what I'm saying? I was swerving.
You swerve right into the right lane.
Like when I be asleep driving.
You reading breath.
I done did that right quick.
You reading
and
breath.
Came back. Listen, the Most High kept the brother safe though.
You know when you're going down the freeway and you hit it.
This nigga know too.
That nigga put in the couch.
All right.
Hey, listen. But I ain't never hit nothing. You know what I'm saying? The Most High to bless the boy.
All right, let's get
is worse.
We was at 48. We gonna go.
We have 47. We about to be at 48 now.
Go ahead.
Verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Look, keep our boys uncircumcised. That's a death. That's a death blow. You get excommunicated. The Most High turned his face from you. Right? That was one of the tokens of the covenant. So they want to take that away. And then on top of that, make our souls abominable with all manners of uncleanness, eating, force feeding us pork and profanations, telling little boys to go to the gym. And you know what happened in the gym? We're gonna keep reading. Go ahead. 49.
To the end, they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, he should die.
Under the threat of death. But just like in, what is that, 2nd Ezra 7? The story about the mom and the 7 sons.
Maccabees.
Second Maccabees 7.
Y'all read that. 2nd
Right.
Maccabees chapter 7 about the 7 sons.
Right? Some of us stayed 10 toes down. And you can discern who that was modern day by the brothers that's out there doing the work, not bending, versus the brothers that'll walk up to you mad because you're trying to tell your people, hey, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and indigenous people, you God's chosen people, you the greatest people on the face of the earth. And what's required of us is to do the Most High's will, keep his law, statutes, commandments, and have faith in Yahweh Shai. Niggas want to fight you.
Right.
Because no matter what, because no matter what they think they're taught religion.
Right.
Plain and simple, right? Most of those people are in Catholicism. Most of them say Hearts Down Space Club, Northeast, Southwest. You know what I'm saying? Take a knee, at the pew, to pay reverence to Mary, Paul, Peter, Jacob, Lot, the nigga who decided to stop molesting children and now he a pastor. They do it for all of them. You understand? Peace, sis.
Shalom, sis. Right?
Go
ahead. We're gonna sidebar into a visual example of what we have to deal with at camp after this, right? But we're gonna go to 51 second. Salaki. Salaki. All right. We back. Yes, sir. We was at 50. I'm gonna go ahead.
50.
I'm gonna get 51 and then I'm gonna show a visual.
Verse 51. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people. And appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the city of Judah to sacrifice city by city.
What that sound like? It sound like the police to me, right? Every hood, you got the overseers that's making sure that we stay in the trap.
And that we do what they want us to do.
Exactly.
Which is kill each other.
Right? They want us serving each other dope, gang banging, you know what I'm saying? Killing each other. Keep them niggas in contained until they eradicate each other.
You think
it's the same plan.
You think when they figured out where we were getting the dope from, that they went and dealt with the supplier?
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
Like, just think about how many people have records because marijuana was illegal. You understand?
Man, it's crazy.
And then they legalized it. Just like when Freeway Ricky, he didn't ask to be in the dope game.
Right.
He was given the dope game.
By the CIA.
Because they want to fund the war in Nicaragua, the Contras.
Yeah, the triangle. Yeah.
So just think about that. And at the end of the day, who goes to jail? Black and brown?
They funded. This is crazy. It was war going on. It was between the Colombians and the Panamanians, right? There was a lot of battle for the control of the drug wars, right? Because the Panama Canal was the gateway to everywhere. The Colombians had it, right? In them coca fields over there. So it was a main shipping route, right? And so Honduras, Ecuador, and Guatemala was kind of that middle ground. You see what I'm saying? And the governments could be bought off by the drug drug lords. They had more military power. They had more money. So the U.S. noticed that there was a powerful gang, a drug gang in either Nicaragua or Ecuador or El Salvador, somewhere in the triangle. They was running that area. So the military was like, you know what? We're going to arm our own militia over there to take out the drug competition. Well, guess what? They armed them. Now all of a sudden they just gave more ammunition to the niggas that they was trying to fight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's everywhere, bro. That's everywhere. That's why, you know, America has yet to lessen their carbon footprint on this earth.
Man,
you understand? We're in so many countries, supplying so many countries with weapons. I keep saying this weed thing like I'm a part of this, but you know what I'm saying? It's like,
you don't own no airplane or no boat.
Listen, I don't even own no farm.
This was crazy.
You know
this was crazy, right? Esau got the nerve. Esau got the nerve to tell a young man and his family from El Salvador or Nicaragua or Honduras that's drug-ridden, crime-ridden, right? That the MS is going crazy over there, right? They are literally refugees looking for political asylum legally because of the problems that America started.
Because guess what? Where did the gang come from? America. You know what I'm saying?
MS.
Where did MS come from?
MS is an American gang.
Why? Because they figured out a way to pin. We all brown, right? But they figured out a way to pin black against brown and brown against brown.
Right. Now
you have the MA and you have New Hampshire Community. You have BGF. You got Crip Bloods. You have MS-13. All these people.
Latin King.
Everybody at war with each other. All the black and brown people at war with each other.
Right. And Esau is the one that went over there and set up the dope labs. Gave weapons to the cartels and kick up all this trouble and then want to turn coat because we went in there a couple times trying to do some war and got towed up and got up out of there. See what I'm saying? Now they want to turn coat and don't want to help these people that's trying to escape the mess that they made. You just don't get no more wicked than that. You don't. We're going to get back to, I think we was on 51. It's let's go down to 60. Because, matter of fact, Salaki, might be 59. Because we was talking about how.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
We was talking about how, you would be put to death if you didn't listen to what King Antiochus wanted. But there's some hope at the end because some brothers kept 10 toes down. That lets you know the light has never been stamped out, right? Read.
This is First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 59. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
Right.
Think about that. You want to keep the law just by circumcising your child. Let me tell you something. I want you to understand what Esau did. Think about this. It wasn't in the hospital. You did the circumcision yourself. They came to your house and looked at your child's penis. That's what they did.
They had to inspect.
There's no other way you could do this.
They got to inspect it.
How do you then know if the child got circumcised?
Free.
I could tell you, no, they're not circumcised.
They would have messed with them little boys. They were there playing with them little boys, man. Crazy, man.
Jewish, man. Sucking on baby.
Brisk.
Where we at? My bad.
61.
61. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them.
Man, that's brutal. You gonna kill the baby hanging on the mama's neck, then kill the mama. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing, There was still riders.
10 toes down.
There were still riders from the right side.
Right.
Still riders.
That part.
All right. 63. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died.
Right. Point blank, period. Some brothers wasn't having it, and all praises that brothers like that existed, because that's why we exist today.
Right.
That same spirit. See what I'm saying? I'm willing to say some of us brothers out here fighting now was back there fighting.
And don't get it twisted. We've been destroyed in this land for a few centuries now, right? Yeah. But keep in mind, some of us had to conform in order for us to be here today to teach this. And you know what I'm saying? Because our ancestors couldn't be the rebellious ones, they'd have been dead. You know? That's why you're such a nice guy. You know?
Let's get 1 Corinthians 12.
Yeah.
See,
that nice guys, you know?
That's the historical bit, right?
It's not the same with the women, though. That's for damn sure.
That's the historical bit that I wanted to tie the Maccabees, because the Maccabees is pure history, right? Yeah. I wanted to tie the Maccabees in with what we was reading. I'm gonna get one more passage from that book real quick. It's gonna be on page 292, if I'm not mistaken. Page 292. Yeah, so remember the earlier passage talked about as far back as like times of Aristotle, like 435 or so BC. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna bring it right back up to the time we talking about now. Bring it right back up to this time. So I do believe it's page 292. And it says the whole land and sea are Jews. So this is 292. All right. Let's read out of that book, page 292, from the top.
From the top.
Yeah.
All right. We're back again at the Hellenistic civilization of the Jews. Page 292, first paragraph. Thus, in the course of the Hellenistic period, the Jews became dispersed over the whole Greek world. As early as 140 BCE, approximately, the author of the Sibylline Oracle testifies that the whole land and sea are full of Jews.
Right. This is the exact same time we're talking about here, right? Antiochus time, the peak of the Greek captivity, when Antiochus is in there talking about that y'all gotta behave like Greeks. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Strabo's assertion that the Jew had reached every town, and it is hard to find a place in the world where the race has not penetrated and where it has not obtained a hold,
right,
refers to the period of Sulla, about the year 85 BCE. Josephus speaks in the same language of the diaspora communities. In parentheses, there is no people in the world among whom part of the whole there is no people in the world among whom part of our brethren is not to be found.
And this is important because we talking about Josephus, who was a secular Jew. He wasn't a righteous brother speaking scripture. He's a historian, right? But he still said our people, our brothers. You see what I'm saying? So that lets you know that these are contemporaries of our people. That's just giving you a straight up and down secular account, right? You can go back where it says Philo speaks and then finish that paragraph.
Con.
Fix the next sentence.
I'll just go back to that sentence.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's no people in the world among whom part of our brethren is not to be found.
Mm-hmm.
And elsewhere he writes, the Jewish race is scattered over the entire world among the local inhabitants. Philo speaks of the wide expansion of the Jews throughout the world and of Jerusalem as the center of that scattered and sundered nation.
Right. So look, we got historical documentation that line right up with the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So let's go to 1 Corinthians 12.
Uh-huh.
See what I'm saying? And the Bible is going to catalog the same event. This is Brother Paul after Christ was born, died, and resurrected, right? This is circa 40, 50, 60 AD we're talking about.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right, I'm ready.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant.
Right.
Ye know that you were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led.
This is what he's talking about, what was going on when we was dealing with Antiochus. Carried away under these dumb idols. Let me get Tobit 13 and 3. Carried away unto these dumb idols. See what I'm saying?
Let me know when you're ready.
Tobit 13 and 3.
Yeah.
All right. Whenever you're ready, huh?
All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah, so you see Paul is chronicling, he's talking to the brothers in Corinth, saying, look, man, you Corinthians, you know how y'all were carried away by these dumb idols? He talking about what happened to generations before, some 200 years before, with their forefathers with Antiochus, being led away from the will of the Most High, right? But this lets you know, Paul know who he's talking about. It lets you know even these secular writers know who they are and making distinction between us and them. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, let's get that in Tobit.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 13 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel.
Uh-huh.
For he hath scattered us among them.
Right? Point blank. You see what I'm saying? Because of our iniquities, the Most High has scattered us amongst the Gentiles. Let me get Acts 2, just to give put a pen in it, right?
2 and 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6, right there, you know.
What?
13 and 3.
13:3.
Yeah. Right. So we see this being chronicled in the scripture. You see what I'm saying? 2 and yeah, you can start at 5 and go to 6.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven.
Matter of fact, that's point blank period, right? It goes hand in hand what we was talking about, what we read, you know what I'm saying, in the Hellenistic civilization and the Jews, Same things happening in the Bible. We read it in the Maccabees. Now, just to give you, matter of fact, name some of them countries. Let's say go down to 10, or actually 9. Yeah, 9.
Con. Well, I'll start at 8.
Yeah.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born, Parthians and Medes and Elamites, and the dwellers of Mesopotamia, and in Judea and Cappadocia, in Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya and Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God.
Right? So look, these brothers of the diaspora that were in Asia, Asia Minor, Persia, Europe, Africa, right? Every known country on the earth. Why? Because of the Greek captivity helped get us there, helped disperse us there, but it's still brothers that kept it down that's coming back home, you know what I'm saying, for Pentecost. You see what I'm saying? That lets you know how history unfolds, because we know if Paul is after Christ, and we see how all of these Grecians moved in, led right up to the Romans, and then the Romans took over. We need to contrast that to what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with Americans, right? Who, if you were to make a comparison, I would say the Greeks and the Romans are indistinguishable as a culture, as a society, right? I would liken it to Great Britain and America. You see what I'm saying? It's one and the same people, right? Indistinguishable language, maybe a different accent because people, got clans, but one comes from the other.
That's the same with Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nubians, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Israelites.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if we understand who we are and who they are, we should understand better how to navigate in this world. Because look, I'm gonna show y'all one thing. If any Edomite try to argue with me that the Romans are not Edomites, or that the Greeks are not Edomites, come on, man. That I don't have to use the Bible for that. I don't even got to crack the Bible open for that. I can go to secular history. All right, let's go to the Google machine.
I love that Google.
Let's go to the Google machine. All right, let's see what we gonna Google. Let's Google Antiochus. Right? Antiochus Epiphanes.
You're going to that Google scholarship.
Google scholarship. Hey, what do we have here? Bonafide Edomite. Right? This is their history.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I think you could look up any name.
It's gonna look like an Edomite.
You could look up Darius.
Look,
or Xerxes.
Hold on. Herod the Tetrarch. See, these are contemporary. That's Herod Antipas. It's Herod the Tetrarch. See, that's the thing. Herod Antipas is older. Herod the Tetrarch is later, and it's an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's provable, proven, right? Here goes some more Herodians, right? Pontius Pilate, Herod Agrippa. You see what I'm saying? Herod the Great, which Herod the Tetrarch.
Yeah, look at that hair, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, these people was black, man.
Goat hair. That goat hair. All right?
Listen, what's the difference, man? They go into South Africa and take over.
That
They
part.
go into the Philippines, and all of a sudden everybody speaking Spanish.
That's what they do, right? That's what they do.
But
But you see their history, they can't run from it. You see what I'm saying? Although they try their damnness. They try to damnness to run from it. But you can't get away from stuff that they recorded. See what I'm saying? It's in their books. It's in a book, the Victor Teixeira book, Hellenistic Civilization and the Jews, is accredited by who? Let me see the front of that book again. JPS, right? JPS, and also the Hebrew University. See what I'm saying? They can't backtrack on this stuff. And then for somebody like a doctor, what's the thing? Is it Dr. White or Brown?
Dr. Brown.
Dr. Brown, right? He got the nerve to get up there and tell Gorilla Hebrew, tell Chief Priest, you might be an Edomite. No way I'm an Edomite. Come on, man. You got to be kidding me. And see, here go the thing. You know what I'm saying? What it said in that movie? Everybody want to go to heaven, nobody want dead, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all young boys know that. The screw face. Yeah. Screw face. You know, anyway.
Is that Mark for them?
Mark for them, right?
Yeah.
Screw face. Screw face give me 1,000 times depth worse than yours. Right? But look, to this day, our people are caught up in just how we were back then, wanting to be like the Grecians, wanting to please the heathens. You know what I'm saying? Where brothers, like Sarah said, brothers come up to you, man, y'all need to get off in corner, man. Y'all gonna get us in trouble and cause problems. Come around here, y'all bringing heat, messing with these white folks.
Don't let massify.
Yeah, don't let massify. Look, I'm gonna go to the YouTube, bro, and pull up this brother. Oh man, I ain't gonna pull that one.
What the hell? Is that on the screen? Can they see that?
No.
You fired.
All right. I'm gonna go to the Wolfpack YouTube channel and we're gonna do some digging around real quick and we're gonna land this plane. All right.
Land the plane on the terrain.
So this just from last week, I believe. And we were just, teaching, doing what we do. And the brother was vexed. He was mad vexed because we had the Jesus Cristo Blanco poster. You feel me? He was mad vexed. But let me get to it real quick. Right? The title of this particular video was Stop Caping for Hate. Brother can't stop caping for Jesus Cristo Blanco. For all of y'all non-Spanish speakers, that means white Jesus Christ, right? And if you ever seen us teach, we have some signage and whatnot.
And we got to put Jesus Cristo because you got Northern Kingdom out here that want to be called Jesus all day anyways, man. It's crazy.
Right? This the particular sign we talking about, right?
Yeah.
He came by. Bro was mad vexed. I'm talking about ready to pull something out his bag vexed. Like, oh, y'all picked the wrong one. For real. Like, I'm vexed.
You can play that shit then.
Right? Because it's horns on white Jesus.
How did I miss this? What was that?
McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
No, I wouldn't.
All right. So look, let's get some more. Volume check.
Do you see that there's a guy in a hat?
Okay, let me back up a little bit.
But I want to just.
All right.
Anybody who says Christ did not watch. Anybody who says that Christ did not that he's not the Son of God, right? Or that he didn't die. I'm not saying. I'm slowing down because I understand you're running through everything.
Okay,
but I want to just connect with you as a brother, man. Listen, you keep saying, why did we put horns on Jesus? Do you understand that there's a guy in a hat, right? That's what I'm asking you. Don't answer something else. Do you see that there's a guy in a hat? Watch. So relax, man. Relax. Tranquilo, bro. Tranquilo. Do you see that there's a guy in a hat? How old are you?
All right. So he just
watch.
Listen to this.
Watch.
So and then here's the thing. These people, when you confront them with the fact that ain't no way the real Christ is a white boy, they say, well, yeah, he was probably Middle Eastern, probably olive colored. Which olive, green or black?
Listen,
right? olive colored, right? Green or black. And Middle Eastern, since when is that an ethnicity? You got black Egyptians.
So now
you got Arabs.
Now South Africans are white.
That's what I'm saying. Like how is a geographic location tied to a race? And what makes it so bad, they're willing to say, well, Christ, basically they're trying to say, well, Christ was an Arab, not a nigga. I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about here? See what I'm saying? This how poison our people's mind is. It's poison. Go ahead.
Right? You're not a kid. Hold on. You're almost 30, bro. What does Middle Eastern mean? When did that term come around? Watch. So the people in the Middle East now, were they there when the Bible was written?
And that's an important fact to learn history. Now, at the time when Christ was walking around, right? The people in Egypt, the people in the Middle East, right, still look like Negroes. The Byzantine Empire started around Greece. The Persians had some invasion on Egypt, but they were still primarily intact until the Arabs in the 7th century AD came in and took over most of Egypt. When Jesus walked the earth, he had to go hide in Egypt amongst all them black folks. Joseph was indistinguishable from the Egyptians.
They didn't recognize him.
Right?
Moses.
Paul. Right? What they said to Paul, art thou that Egyptian?
Yeah, man. What you speak? Canst thou speak
Greek?
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? So our own people will sit there and say, Jesus was Middle Eastern. And what they really trying to say is, nah, he ain't no nigga. He was probably an Arab, though. He was probably light-skinned. You know?
No, they're just saying he just ain't no nigga. He could
part.
be anything in the world.
Anything
he just can't
but
be no nigga.
Anything but let me
That white picture is just all they know.
Shit like that. Yeah, Middle Eastern people.
Obviously,
Oh, and who told you that? Watch, who told you that? Watch, who told you that? Watch, who told you that? So did you ever hear that the Arabs conquered what they call the Levant? It's not called the Middle East.
He needs
like
milk.
Scholar.
right? So look, the Levant, and that's the point.
Bro, you know we ain't got nowhere in this video yet.
No, it's only gonna be 10 seconds. The land of Israel right now is a small sliver compared to what the actual Levant is.
The Nile to the
The
Euphrates.
Nile to the Euphrates. You see what I'm saying?
Middle East is a term that was created to trick young black and brown kids who don't study.
That part. And that
Who was on the camera?
that was it.
Yours truly.
You?
No, I had to move it. But yeah, that was a horrible shot. But anyway, that was my point. That was my point, is that look. Yours truly. Look here, our own people want to fight us because we got symbolic horns on a picture of a white man that has nothing to do with our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah. And they won't even give us the honor and the respect as a brother to sit there and have a discussion, right? They don't even want to have a discussion with us because, for one, they hate their brothers so much. They got a cape for the white man. They hate us for stirring up trouble, for causing problems with Massa. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And that's why like Isaiah 58 and from the top, because it says that to cry aloud and spare not.
Of course.
Like, we don't care how anybody feels. We gonna let our people know what they're doing wrong.
We have to get the blood off our hands, right?
Uh,
Because whether they hear or whether they forbear, if we don't tell them and they remain wicked, the blood is on our hands. But our job is to let them know. You know what I'm saying? Let them know of the wicked ways. So lucky. Right, you just probably just pull it straight up. Yeah. Oh man, $300 key. Right? You see what I'm saying? So we got to understand what we've been through and where we're going. and how to change this dynamic, this mentality of some brothers. Some brothers gonna get it, some ain't. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers' eyes have been blinded, ears have been plugged, and their hearts is hardened. That's up to the Most High. But Lord willing, you know what I'm saying? As many brothers as I can reach out to and cry out to, they're gonna hear it. And that seed get planted, and Lord willing, Most High yield the increase. You see what I'm saying? That's all we can do is stay 10 toes down, stay out on that corner, you know what I'm saying? Stay out on that block and keep it 100. Because whether a brother listen or not, it's not up to us. You see what I'm saying? We just got to put the message out there. But at the end of the day, I want to encourage brothers. Let me see that book so I could give a screenshot. I want to encourage brothers to do more reading. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can see this title. All right. Man, my autofocus is off. But anyway, the Hellenistic civilization and the Jews by Victor Sherakova. See what I'm saying? Good read because it gives you a peek into how we lived back then in a society that really had us under oppression. And a lot of us was walking around thinking, man, let's go to the gym today, huh? Let's go do this. Let's go wear some togas. You know what I'm saying? Like happy.
Right. It wasn't wearing no togas in that gym.
Man, it was togaless. You see what I'm saying? A lot of brothers is happy to live and deal in society. And what they say, Caribbean, you mean you gonna keep all 613 laws? But nigga, it's 30,000 laws in the American books. Right. There's tens of thousands of laws in the American books. And that same brother will sit there and tell you, man, you better stop all the way at that stoplight. Yeah. Man, you better slow down. You going 5 over. You see what I'm saying? You got no problem consciously walking around all day, keeping the laws of the land, even down to when it's detrimental to you.
Listen, ain't nobody at that stop sign, nobody at that 4-way stop sign, but you gonna stop.
You gonna stop. Out of
laws ingrained in you.
Out of fear of Smokey.
Listen.
Smokey got you afraid to run a stop sign, to do a California stop, right?
Man, that 5 minutes.
You know what I'm saying?
Rolling stop.
He got you afraid to do a rolling stop, but you'll go out there and fornicate with the next man's wife. And without blinking out.
You would think a lot more gangsters would be in tune with this right here. Niggas ain't scared to ride around with a pistol on their lap, but when it comes to serving the Most High,
look, Baruch,
I can't do that.
Baruch 4:28, Lord willing, right?
I'm scared to ride around
Lord,
with registration.
Lord willing, right. Remember my tags bad, everything bad. You know what I'm saying? I gotta tuck the burner extra good because I'm riding dirt. You know what I mean? But hey, that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? In Salakia, I've been doing a little extra here and there, this and that. I haven't checked the chat, so let's go through the chat. Give some shout outs because I see some brothers in here. Oh man,
it was given, huh?
Hey,
all praise.
No, thick oil. OG from Philly, right? All praises, right? Hey, I already know who that is. I ain't really gonna shout out our regulars. Shout out the homie Jeremiah Rossborough, Shalom King. He always got the one-liners, right? He said, "We jumping like Jordan." I hear the jewels being dropped. All praises. Throw water. Shalom, sis. Shalom, princess. All love. Ahabatah. We got the regular brothers in here. Absolutely. That's a great point. Esther 8, right? Matter of fact, we'll get that real quick. That's a great point. In Esther 8, and in Esther 8 is talking about basically what the Purim holiday is for, right? That holy day is for, us celebrating conquering our enemies, which at the time were the Persians. You see what I'm saying? And Esther, we know that she was a queen only because the Persian king sought out the finest Israelite in all of the land and said, I got to have her as my queen, right? We know we don't have queens in Israel, but that's why they say Queen Esther, But yes, she was an Israelite, and we know that Mordecai was her uncle. Right? So let me pull that up. Just a real quick, Jim, real quick. Esther 8. And that, ironically, that ties right into the Esau breakdown. You know what I'm saying? Esther 8. Real quick, like, okay. Started around 17, I believe.
Verse.
Yeah, it's 17. Yeah, because we see Jews used twice there, and then that's gonna get to the point. All right, go ahead, King.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day.
All right, right? Because this king's decree was that, hey, y'all got to fall back off of these Jews, stop trapping them up, and let them have their land and let them do what they do. You see what I'm saying? This was a decree from King Ahasuerus, right? Because Mordecai wasn't having it. He was rallying the troops. And then at the same time, he wanted to keep Esther happy because that's Esther's uncle. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And many of the people of the land became Jews.
Became what?
Became Jews.
For what?
For the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
This is where you got to get into etymology. You see what I'm saying? So many of the people of the land became Jews. Converts, right? Let's look at the people who became Jews. You go to the interlinear tools here.
And so, like, people gotta understand, right? Like, you can move to China. You gotta understand the way that it's written. You can't become an Israelite,
right?
You become of those people, just like it said, in the spirit of the Greeks. You understand? When you take on the customs of those people, you become those people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Are you a hoe?
Right. So let's look at this. The people who became Jews is the word Yahad. Right. H3054. Yahad. Yahad. You see the characters. Yahad. 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 See what I'm saying? Let's look at the definition. To become a Jew, in fact, or in fraud, become Judaized.
Or in fraud.
Here you go. So look. Denominative from a form corresponding to H3061, Judaized, i.e., become Jewish. So we know that these are converts. See what I'm saying? These are the converts. Now let's go back to that same verse and let's say let's get the first one. It don't matter the first one or the second one, right? The first, when it talks about the Jews, right? The actual people, right? The Jews, right? That's Yehudi or Yahawada, right? Yahawada Yah. Yahudim in the block script, modern, it's Yahawada Yah in the paleo pronunciation, right? But Yehudi, La'ah Yehudi.
You know Jew.
No Jew. All right? Baruch Hashem. Jew. Period. Done. All right? Let's look at the characters. Yahawada Yah. Yahawada Yah. He is of Yahweh, right? Yahawada Yah. So look, you got converts, but then you got actual Jews. It's no different. It's no different than, the converts in the time of the Herodian dynasty, right? It's people that converted, but that doesn't make them Israelites. That makes them converts. Now there's Israelites that went away and got brought back in, but those are the wild branches.
Right.
That's a whole different discussion. You see what I'm saying? There's only one chosen people, and it's from the seed of the Father. You see what I'm saying? But all praises the water for that gem that we just included into the discussion. I see Sakari San Fran in the house. All praises. Most likely Ayash. Shalom up. Right? Other than that, it's brothers that's 10 toes down, left and right, all days out the week that's been around. We don't need to shout you out. We know who you are. But at the same time, anybody else that's out there listening, getting this message, Lord willing, you know what I'm saying? You found some edification in there, edification within the message. I encourage y'all brothers and sisters, man, study your history, not just your history, study history from the perspective of some of your enemies so you can understand how they think about you. And what they say, the best way to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. This is how they do. They catalog things historically and then sit back and say, what you mean? We wrote it down. We told you. You didn't read it? So I encourage y'all brothers, not just to get into these scriptures, but understand historically what the timeline is. In fact, good plug. I was just watching Deacon's live earlier, and he said he's about to do a big lesson on the biblical timeline for his Sicari varsity. You know what I'm saying? So any of y'all brother, I know Ali Yeshai is part of Sicari varsity, but any of y'all brothers out there, check out Deacon Sicari and Sicari varsity. He really about to go in on biblical timelines because that's essential. You got to know when things happen. You got to know the relevance of what king and what era, what captivity we were in, what captivity that led to, where brothers went, where they came from. It's real important to understand geography and time as it relates to the history of the Bible. See what I'm saying? yeah, Degar. No Jesus Cristo mío, not my Jesus. Right? So, see what I'm saying? But with that, you know what I'm saying? We done landed the plane, the water to SARS for you know what I'm saying, toughen it out with the allergy problems. I got the same issue, except mine ain't my nose, it's my hoarse, my hoarse voice, right? Yeah. But with that being said, man, any questions or comments from the brothers or in the chat real quick before we call it a day? Good to go. You know what I'm saying? Did you get that PDF? I'll send. All right, bet. Yeah, we're gonna probably go over that as a group a little later. I know Karaz had mentioned he wanted to study, so you know, y'all remind me.
We might talk about it right after this class.
Come. But yeah, with that being said, I want to give call halal Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, and Kwam Yashra.
Kwam Yashra.